Hi friends, welcome to my channel. This is La Espiritual. Thank you for being here. In this opportunity, we are going to talk about the author of the Yoga Sutras. This video is part of a series in which I talk about the Yoga Sutras, the Bible of Yoga, pure yoga philosophy. Well, the author of the Yoga Sutras is said to be Patanjali. We can talk about Patanjali from 2 points of view, historical or traditional, and according to mythology. About Patanjali's story, we have little information. We know something about his roots, his influences, and about his family, while the myth of Patanjali is much richer in meaning and in content. We are going to start from the historical or traditional point of view. As I said, there is little information. Some people think he may have been a grammarian, but the times in which this grammarian lived do not coincide with the times in which the text was written. It is thought that the Yoga Sutras were written 1700 and 2200, although it is possible that they existed much earlier by word of mouth. They were passed down orally from teacher to student for generations. So, what is believed is that Patanjali is more of a figure that compiles all this oral tradition. He gathers the teachings that used to be transmitted through generations. Patanjali is considered an important thinker, but he is not considered the father of yoga per se. He is rather the father of Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is a mental path. It is believed that the mind is the one that governs and rules, the one that reigns and has control over the rest of the body and its organs. In Sanskrit, Raja is king and Yoga is union. The translation of Raja Yoga would be something like the royal union. So, Patanjali is going to teach us about this path of physical and mental control. There are also other types of yoga, other paths that I am only going to mention in this opportunity. We have Karma Yoga, which is the path of selfless action. Bhakti Yoga, which is the path of devotion, and Jnana Yoga, which is the path of knowledge or wisdom. Now we are going to talk about Patanjali's family and how they influenced him. Tradition says he would have been born in Gonard, Kashmir, in northwest India, around the year 256 before Christ. But there are also some people who believe he was born in Bharatavarsha, also in India, in the year 250 before Christ. Patanjali grew up as a normal child. He lived as a yogi and was strongly influenced by his maternal grandfather. As we see in the slide, Jiras is Patanjali's father. Jiras was the son of Uru and Agni, who were both Tantra practitioners. On the paternal side, there wasn't a great influence. However, as we were saying, on the maternal side there is a great philosophical and spiritual wisdom that was passed on to him. Patanjali's mother was named Gonika. She was a tantric yogini devout of Shiva. Shiva is the deity that creates, destroys, and protects the universe. Ganika also had a strong inclination for the study of agamas, which are the mixture of Hindu, Buddhist, and Jaina scriptures. Ganika is a very special figure in Patanjali's life, especially in the myth that we are going to see later in this video. Back to Patanjali's grandfather Hiranyagarbha, he was a faithful follower of the Samkhya doctrine, one of the 6 darshanas. Hiranyagarbha decided to give this philosophy a practical branch, so he founded yoga. According to Patanjali's followers, in the beginning, yoga and Samkhya were one, which later separated into 2 schools. Patanjali grew up as a normal child, learning from his wise grandfather. At an early age, he married Lolupa, his only wife, and with whom he had a son, Nagaputra, the son of the serpent. As we will see in the mythological part of the video, it is believed that Patanjali is the incarnation of Shesha, king of the serpents. That's why his son is called Nagaputra. Nagaputra became Patanjali's successor, and he was a yoga master in Nagaland, in northwest India. Another disciple of Patanjali and Nagaputra was the legendary Dattatreya Samikriti Guru, who wrote treatises on Yoga Darshana. Well, that's almost all we know about Patanjali's history. Now we are going to talk about the myth. The legend says that Patanjali is the incarnation of Ananta Shesha, the serpent. Ananta in Sanskrit means infinity, where an is a negative particle and anta means end. Shesha comes from the Sanskrit root sh, that which remains, because when the whole universe is destroyed at the end of each kalpa or unit of time, what remains unchanged is Shesha. Therefore, Ananta Shesha would be that which remains unchanged infinitely. In the sacred books Puranas, it is said that Shesha is an avatar of God. As we see in this image, Shesha is a male serpent that floats coiled in the universal ocean. It is said that he is a 1,000-headed male serpent, the king of all serpents, who is one of the primordial beings of creation and the guardian of the treasures of the world. Ananta has the task of protecting the deep gems of the earth. As we see in the image, he is protecting and supporting Vishnu, who rests over him as if on a sofa. Vishnu is one of the forms that emanated from Shiva, and as he sleeps, in his breath he exhales millions of universes as particles. For Vishnu, all the activity of living beings within the cosmos is a simple dream or yogic sleep. Another name for Shesha is Sankarshan, which means completely attractive or the one who holds everything together. There are some passages that talk about the qualities of Shesha. For example, Srimad Bhagavatam says that Ananta is the origin of all the incarnations that appear in this material world. He also says that Ananta speaks proudly about himself, saying, "I am the devotee of Vishnu, who keeps the vision and the visible together." The myth says that the serpent Shesha asked Vishnu to incarnate as a man, and that he fell from heaven to his mother's palms on earth. Therefore, the meaning of his name Patanjali,
where Pat means fallen from the sky and Anjali is the name of the prayer posture or Anjali Mudra. One day, God Vishnu was resting on Ananta Shesha as always, like on his sofa, while watching the vigorous dance of Nataraya, the king of dance. Nataraya is the name of God Shiva's destroyer avatar when he dances. Vishnu was so engrossed in the movements that his body began to vibrate to the rhythm, feeling so much pleasure and happiness that he began to tremble and experienced samadhi, which is the state of consciousness reached when, during meditation, the person feels that he or she is merging with the universe. It is a mental absorption. This vibration made him feel heavier and heavier, causing a great discomfort to Ananta Shesha, who was supporting him as his couch. Ananta was almost on the verge of collapsing, gasping for breath. Fortunately, the dance came to an end and Vishnu's body became lighter again. Ananta Shesha was astonished about the transformations he observed in Vishnu and asked him, curious, what had caused him such impressive changes. Vishnu explained to him that Shiva's grace, beauty, power and majesty had created this vibration in him. Ananta, amazed, conveyed his desire of learning to dance in the same way in order to inspire his Lord. Vishnu predicted that soon Shiva would give him the grace to be born in the mortal world, where Ananta was going to write a commentary on the grammar of Sanskrit, and he would also take up dancing. He also interceded and asked Shiva to grant this favor to the serpent, that he could incarnate as a human in Kama Loka, the world of desire. Kama in Sanskrit means world, and Loka, desire. Shesha was filled with joy. He had Vishnu's approval. He meditated to discover who would be his possible mother in the earth, and while meditating he had a vision of a woman devoted to yoga, a yogini, an asceta named Gonika, who prayed for a worthy son to whom she could pass on all her knowledge to. Ananta Shesha realized that she would be a perfect mother for him and waited for the right time to become her son. Gonika was a divine incarnation of Parvati, Shiva's wife. It is said that in the beginning of time, Shiva revealed yoga for the first time to her, to Parvati, on the seashore. One day, Gonika, praying for finding her special son, looked up to God's Son and begged him to grant her wish. She took a handful of water, closed her eyes and meditated. When she opened her eyes and looked at her palms in a position of prayer, when she was about to offer the water, to her surprise, she saw a small serpent moving in her palms. Soon the serpent took human form. It was a small human who prostrated himself and asked her to accept him as her son. She called him Patanjali, the one who fell from the sky in her palms. Patanjali is considered a Sambayu, a soul who reincarnates to help humankind liberate from Kamaloka, the world of desires. As we said, Ananta Shesha, the serpent, has the task of protecting the treasures of the earth. and the most precious one is the knowledge of yoga, to awaken human beings, bringing them clarity and consciousness. That is why Shesha incarnates in Patanjali, so that he transmits this treasure in the Yoga Sutras, the treasure of knowing deeply that we are able to manifest heaven on earth. This capacity we have to incorporate divine aspects into a normal life and to illuminate profane circumstances, to make them ananta, to make them infinite discerning Shesha, that which remains unchanged. Also, let's remember that one of the reasons why the serpent wanted to incarnate was to learn how to dance, as to transcend all this material reality of creation, preservation, and destruction harmoniously through dance and samadhi, in this state of mental absorption in total connection with the universe. This is one of the interpretations. There can be many, many more. So I leave this open, these multiple meanings. Thank you for watching this historical and mythological view of Patanjali, the author of the Yoga Sutras. And thank you very much for your support, for your comments and likes. I appreciate them very much. I will see you in the next video where we are going to talk about the philosophical influences of the Yoga Sutras. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Blessings. Bye.